Hey everybody, this is Ray Flip, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Welcome you once again to the weekly static. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking to yourself, wait, it's Saturday. Yeah, I'm going to own it. This is the first time for weekly static we've actually ever been 24 hours late, but there is a reason. This week I've been covering the Tribeca Film Festival. If you haven't seen it already, I've already had some posts up about Westworld Season 2, about Cobra Kai, which was fantastic. Definitely check that review out and check out the first two episodes. And also the opening night documentary, Love Gilda, which was about the late, great, famed comedian Gilda Radner of Saturday Night Live fame. So again, kind of the reason why this week's been a little crazy. Also, today I got a chance to see Avengers Infinity War, which was a movie. I'm just gonna put it like that. I might be doing something separate about what my thoughts were. Spoiler, yeah, they're not good. But it does kind of fit with one of the things we're gonna be talking about today. What is today? Just a quick reminder, we're talking about the weekly static. This is that time that myself, Bat-Murr, Trejo, and Margo Staten, we take a look at the past week in television coverage on Bleeding Cool. We pick 5 topics that are of particular interest to us, and we give you kind of our take and our perspective on it. Sometimes it has to do exactly with what the topic is. Sometimes we might just go off on a rant, which I think I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 times this week. But yeah, that's basically how it works. Why do we do a top 5? Especially because I don't actually rank them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My spirit animal, John Cusack, the movie High Fidelity. If you've ever seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely do need to see it. John Cusack, your library of film knowledge will just be stronger for it. Grosse Pointe Blank, High Fidelity, Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer. That's all you got to do. But again, this is our top 5 this week, starting with number 5. Marvel Studios looks like is going to be MIA this year at San Diego Comic-Con for Hall H. For those of you who are new or have just heard about Hall H is like the ultimate mecca for programming at San Diego Comic-Con. It is the place that people will camp out Friday afternoon for a Saturday afternoon event. And when I say camp out, I mean literally camp out. In the park, tent cities, all that fun stuff. But it looks like Marvel's not going to have a big presence this year. And, some people are like, yeah, but at the last minute, things like that. But it raises a bigger issue, and I think San Diego is having to deal with is a lot of these programs, events, companies, they're not getting the exposure during San Diego Comic-Con, which they've gotten in the past, because everybody and their mother has stuff that's unveiling during that time. So you're seeing a lot of people kind of branch out to their own things. We see D23 has grown huge, and that's Disney's big thing. And could easily see Marvel kind of finding its way more towards that. You have Image Expo, which removed itself also. I think you're going to start seeing that more and more, especially with the comic book companies. Because it's really tough for the comic book companies to get heard above the noise of television and film, and that's really what the primary focus really has been. And Hall H is known as great reputation for having big casts meet up and hanging out and photo ops and crazy opportunities and things like that. Stuff that the fans love and websites like Bleeding Cool love to report about. But I think those days might be going, and I think we're going to start seeing more smaller and more select and more company studio theme type events. So very interesting to see how San Diego plays out. That's number 5. Number 4. Comes word that Amazon has already renewed Jack Ryan for a season 2 before it's even premiered. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, 1, because I'm a big John Krasinski fan, and 2, because I think the series really, really looks great. My primary reason for bringing it up, though, is that I feel like there was a missed opportunity. I don't know if you guys know the movie, you probably know the movie Fletch with Chevy Chase. The first one was good, the second one really sucked. But I believe it was Gregory McDonald, but I might be killing the name on there. But it was based on a series of laid-back detective books from about this character named Fletch, and I always thought John Krasinski was one of those people that could have been really, really good and done something with those books. I think it had really a strong making for a series. Still has the making for a series. So if Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Amazon, or any Prime, AMC, or any Prime companies like that, sorry networks, I'm not high on you. Can't help it. But any of you other streaming services or premium cable channels, Fletch, get your hands on that. I think that could be really, really, really strong. So that's number 4. Number 3, Goldberg thinks it's time for Hulk Hogan to get another chance in wrestling with the WWE. In this week's edition of Middle-Aged to Old White Guys talking about subjects they really shouldn't be talking about. For those of you who haven't missed our previous editions, it's involved people like, Jerry the King Lawler, Jim Ross, a number of other individuals. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what middle-aged old white guys think Hulk Hogan should be able to do or not be able to do. I kind of really, really agree with Mark Henry. This idea of you went back in, you have a lot of talking and apologizing you need to do to all of the wrestlers of color. Not just black wrestlers, but I think to all the wrestlers of color. Hogan's tactic about how I'll talk to all wrestlers, No, dude. First off, again, you don't get to set the tone any more than your little cabal of friends get to set the tone too. So, Goldberg, that's awesome. That's great. I'm glad you worked a contract that was allowed you to beat the crap out of Brock Lesnar twice and basically show that a guy who hasn't wrestled in 12 years is better than the vast majority of the WWE roster. But yeah, let's stick to social commentary. Yeah, let's stick to social commentary. Your social commentary is about as good as you are as a purebred Bret Hart-like technical wrestler. So that's all I'm saying. So that's number 3. Number 2, The Simpsons is 636 episodes. I feel like that just really needs to be brought out and put out there because it's due recognition. 636 episodes is a lot of episodes, folks. Just to give you an idea, I think there was like 4 or 5 articles alone just about the idea that Family Guy had made it to 300 episodes, just to give you some perspective. So, but 636 episodes, it's just one of those shows, it's weird. I'll admit it. I don't really watch it. But it's also one of those series that, like, I'm glad it's on, I'm glad it's out there. Because whenever I do stumble upon it or I see clips online or things like that, it still makes me laugh. It's still relevant. It still gets to some hard-cutting stuff. Not like South Park. South Park, I don't know what happened in South Park. I can't watch that. I see the marathons on Comedy Central, and I end up clicking to True TV and the 900th Impractical Jokers marathon, which, again, I never get tired of. But wow, there's a lot. But yeah. So, again, in regards to Simpsons, congratulations. I thought you guys were getting canceled a couple seasons ago. Apparently, I was wrong. But excellent job. Number 2. Getting to number 1, George R.R. Martin. What a shock, folks. Good news, George R.R. Martin's going to be publishing stuff in 2018. Bad news is it's not going to be anything majorly Game of Thrones that you're waiting for. Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I know I might be beating a dead horse here. I know this is a ship that sailed a long time ago, but I think you're going to have to get over the fact that it's going to be a long-ass time before you're going to be getting anything else in running from George R.R. Martin fresh that continues the whole Game of Thrones, Song of Paradise, whatever 900 other titles we're going to go with it. I think we're just going to have to kind of resign ourselves to the fact, because again, it builds into my whole theory that now Game of Thrones is wrapping up with its HBO version, which George R. R. Martin still gets a cut of. And again, I'm telling you, listen to me. He takes his time. He writes his own version. It's going to be different from the HBO version. He's going to find a way to either sell that to HBO again so he can get killed 2 birds with 1 stone, or he's literally going to have a whole other set of books rights that, because they're so different, he's going to be able to peddle to somebody else. And Lord knows, with the way Amazon's spending money, I'm sure they could literally now get their own Game of Thrones instead of trying to find some facsimile of Game of Thrones. So again, pimp move, George R. R. Martin. I've been telling you this all along. I am not judging you. I think people just kind of need to keep that in mind moving forward. I know it's sacrilegious and blasphemy to say, but I'm sure George R. R. Martin would like to make a couple bucks off the work he does, just like everybody else does. So those are our top 5, folks. I'm glad you guys could join me for this. Again, I apologize for this Saturday evening edition, but I hope you enjoy it. I'm a little amped up, a little excited because of all my raging disappointed about Avengers Infinity War. But I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. Again, my name is Ray Flook, Bleeding Cool, beat writer on the television circuit. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up this weekend, a lot of Tribeca stuff, a lot of review stuff that's going to be coming up. Don't forget, we have Fear the Walking Dead, going to be doing a live blog Sunday night for that, so please keep that in mind. But otherwise, make sure you are checking out Bleeding Cool at bleedingcool.com for a lot of coverage of a lot of aspects of the pop culture landscape. From comic books, to television, to film, to collectibles, to video games, to social commentary, to controversial issues, to conventions, to cosplay. We cover it all, so please make sure you join us in the inner tubes at www.bleedingcool.com. Again, I'm Ray Flook. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I will, guys and gals, is that proper? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens. We'll go with that. But thank you for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you on the inner tubes. Take care, folks.